Before Central Park became the landmark we know today, it was home to a thriving Black community, Seneca Village. But what if I told you that one of the wealthiest Black women of the 19th century not only made strategic land investments, but also financed the fight against slavery? This is the story of Elizabeth Gloucester, a woman who turned wealth into a weapon for Black freedom. Elizabeth A. Parkhill Gloucester was a free Black entrepreneur, landowner, and abolitionist. She understood that wealth was more than personal success. It was security and power. Alongside her husband, James, she operated a stop on the Underground Railroad, helping enslaved people escape to freedom. Gloucester wasn't a resident of Seneca Village, but she saw its potential. She purchased 2 lots later, selling them to reinvest in more valuable property near 99th Street and 5th Avenue, a move that exemplified the power of Black land ownership. Real estate was more than an investment. It was a strategy for Black economic survival and generational wealth. In February 1852, abolitionist John Brown stayed at the Gloucester home in Brooklyn. The Gloucesters donated $25, a significant sum at the time, to support his fight against slavery. In a fateful exchange, Gloucester warned Brown, "Perhaps you will lose your life." Brown's reply, "If I fall, I'll open a ball in this country that will never stop until every slave is free." 7 years later, Brown led the raid on Harper's Ferry, pushing the nation closer to civil war. Gloucester's support shows how Black business success was deeply tied to resistance. Gloucester didn't stop at land investments. She and her husband owned the Remsen House, a Brooklyn boarding house that provided financial independence for Black entrepreneurs. Despite criticism, boarding houses were critical for economic power, giving Black women control over their finances in a system designed to keep them in servitude. Gloucester was a philanthropist who funded Black education, donating $1,200 to the Colored Orphan Asylum. At her funeral in 1883, she was described as one of the wealthiest Black women in America, not just in money, but in influence. John Brown's prophecy came true. The Civil War began, slavery fell, but long before that, Black entrepreneurs like Gloucester were laying the foundation for self-determination. Elizabeth Gloucester's story challenges the myth that 19th century Black Americans had little agency over their lives. She understood the power of land, wealth, and resistance, using them to build a life of security while financing the movement for freedom. Her legacy lives on, not just in history books, but in the very land beneath our feet.